Let's get to it. To the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I'm your host for the evening. I am Elemental. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We've been doing this for 184 weeks now, y'all. Can you dig it? Oh, but we continue to do it every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams, which we truly appreciate, and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen, 279-995-364. Jump in and join the greatest community in the world. It is truly a different world in the Zoom. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. So we would like to thank the the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and Education of America for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoom burst. The one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now? Damn it, you should be. That cat is all over the place. He was the host of Thursday night last week, and it was incredible. Appreciate you, Ron, and all that you do, man. Make sure you are plugging in. There's so many things going on. Tonight's theme, it is Indigenous Peoples Day, okay? Formerly known as Columbus Day. We are listening to freedom's true voice, right? The importance, the significance of honoring the original people's true voice, right? And for me, as a poet, as a rebellious revolutionary, I'm about dispelling the great American lie, right? The 1492, right? What happened before and after, and what do you think is the true voice of freedom? So I'm looking forward to what everyone has this evening. Trust and believe you have poetic license to do whatever comes to your heart this evening. If your poem is not on theme, that's totally cool. We are still looking forward to what you have brought. Next week's theme, building blocks. What's the word? So this is really about your favorite words, right? When I first started writing, people say, oh, okay, you use those words, take those out of your lexicon. but there are some words, they just taste so good. You know what I mean? Those $5, $10, $20 words, you know? So tell us about some of those words that maybe changed it for you, that maybe changed the way that you looked at writing. You know, was it onomatopoeia? You know what I mean? Was it sestina? You know, was it a phrase? Was it an idiom or a euphemism? You know what I mean? What was the thing that said, ooh, I want to use those. I want to do that, you know? So that's what we're going to be focusing on next week. It is the building blocks, right? What's the word? Of course, we deal with words, but I want to know kind of where it started for you. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry this evening. Poets, turn your cameras on. We are trying to stimulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see the beautiful exuberance that goes into your poetry performance. All right. Also, don't forget to change your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you online. As you're getting ready, have your poem ready. If you're going analog, you know, dog ear the page if necessary. If you're going digital, have it pulled up and ready to rock. If you're using music, which is totally cool, make sure it's original music, because we don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our stream in any way. And if you're playing music, make sure you have on original sound. All right, so original sound, original music, and we are good to go. Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock. All right, we've been dealing with, you know, dabbling with how to deal with this. All right, we don't want to cut people off. All right, try to keep in the 3 minutes, folks. Got a 30-second intro and let it rock. All right, keep in mind that there's other poets that want to get down with you. All right. We have reached night 30 for the babies, all right? There are explicit lyricists in our community. The founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in the vein of everything that we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism, which will not, I say not, be tolerated. There is no censorship, all right? Poetry is a living, breathing trigger warning, all right? Thou hath been warned. If you are not prepared, prepare yourself, because it's coming. It's the greatest community in the world. We're going to show you why. This is a true call and response space. After the poets get up here and rip open a part of who they truly are and share it with us, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share all that energy back with the poets. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. Share that energy with the room. All that energy that you share will come back to you from the poets in their poetic performance. So make sure you share it. The list tonight is closed. Sign up begin 24 hours before the show, which will be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you go to newurekan.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to get down on. All right. You need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way you're getting on the guaranteed list, and they don't populate until 24 hours before the show. All right, so plug in. Also going on in the brick and mortar, the open mic hosted this week by Soul Preem. Make sure you plug it in. Wednesday is the Wednesday Night Slam with either J Rose or the Beats. Shout out C4. Thursday night, I believe La Bruja will be back this week, so make sure you are plugging in. Also Friday night, with Jive, shout out DJ Paco. It is going down on Friday night for real. Also, right after Jive is the open room with Chevette. Also coming up is Voices and Vibe, hosted by the one and only Paul Conqueso. It is gonna be a vibe indeed. Also coming up is the costume party on Halloween. It is sure to be epic. Tonight's list. Oh my goodness, willing and ready to share freedom's true voice. Let's do it, y'all. There's my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh my goodness, it's the best night of the week, and we are about to show everyone why. So let's get to it, folks. Coming up first, our resident blacksmith is in the building, setting it off as only a blacksmith can. Listen, I look forward to every single time this guy comes through. Look, see how he's swinging his hammer on him? See how he's swinging his hammer on him? Look, he does it every single time his pen stays so sharp. So get ready for it. The one and only Michael Sindler is in the building. Let these folks know how they can find you online and what to connect with. It is always great to see you. Set it off this evening, sir. Take it away.
Actually, I don't know what happened to my little card. Oh my God, don't know what happened to my little thing for lighthousewriters.org, but still should check them out, lighthousewriters.org. I didn't get any confirmation back on whether or not I could screen share, so I'm just going to say, obviously, oh, I can screen share now. Okay, I'll do it then. That's the way. Oh, hold on. Oh, geez, what did I just do? Well, I just think I lost the piece I was going to do it with. So we'll do this one. Sorry, wasting time here. This is a piece in the collection of the American Museum of Western Art, and so oh no, you don't have it enabled, so I'm just going to do it without. Let's not waste time here, because I know we're in a rush to get things. So this is called A Moment's Rest. Under gray bark tree and sheltering shade, commerce of pottery native hands have made. Passing tourists say lazy Indians and laugh, lumber along their way, trotting an ancient path. Praise for pretty urns, none for their makers. Lack of concern, ignoring their labor. Up before dawn, stoic in sweltering haze. Still there when light is gone, same spot, countless days. The rich barter with the poor, thinking them worthless. No compassion for those whose art they purchase. Begrudging even a moment of respite, they ridicule the heathens and with treasures exit. And this one is also based on a painting by the same artist whose work you're not seeing, Walter Ufer. And it's called You Paint My Place. And I'm kind of not so much the history as the indignities is where I'm coming from at this point. It's called You Paint My Place. You paint my place, but not my people. Try to pin down the irretrievable. Your paint can't recreate the magic of sacred dances or the tragic cry of the land, a constant sound since you invaded, or the way of life that slowly faded. You think you capture our tragedies and our tradiciones? Consider yourself a sort of court magician. Your canvases reap thousands of dollars, yet not a penny of it is ours. You sketch and paint our once sacrosanct landscape with color palette drawn from ground you've raped. With whites, it's never give, it's always take. You can't appropriate what we are inside, can't understand our sorrow, can't feel our pride, rooted in the experience of rapture. Your vision is a hollow shell in which hides that which you'll never see, never touch, and can never capture. You paint my place, but not my people. You make a myth where none is needed. Your false mirror reflects savage stereotypes. We disappear before your eyes. You paint a lie when you paint my place. You paint only yourself. Okay, let's move on and hear from some other great people.
Wow. You see what happens you see what happens? Unmute yourself, give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yeah, Michael, right on. Yeah.
Michael is on that game. Always.
Those were great, Michael. And Michael, I just saw your private DM now about the screen share. I apologize. Everyone, if you guys need those features temporary, give us a little bit more advance notice, please. I'm asking. But it was great, Michael. We still got to hear your great pieces. Maybe it was a blessing. I don't know.
Listen, first of all, absolutely what Ron had mentioned about the message. My apologies about that. I got that a little late. However, Your I wasn't expecting that, Mr. Sindler. I was not. But I'm glad that we have kicked the door open with some magnificent work to start the evening. Really. Because we all are going to be trotting an ancient path this evening. Because we are connecting the past with the present to the future, right? I just appreciate always how you truly dig into what you do, right? In the second piece, you said, you paint my place, right? You said the tragic cry of the land, a constant sound since you invaded, right? Color palette from a ground you raped, right? Your vision is a hollow shell, right? You paint my face, but not my people, right? I think that's so significant. Some of my family members, they love those old school Westerns. And when you look back at those things, they weren't really, they were just painted faces. So very, very interesting. Listen, it's going to be one of those because look, the storytellers are in the building this evening and they are the sharpest in the world. Trust and believe, and they come to do it and do it and do it well. Thank you, Michael Sindler, a mainstay of our community. Make sure you are plugging into lighthousewriters.org. Listen, I always had love for this dude. He put me in the same room with Nikki Giovanni. Appreciate you, Michael Sindler. All right, coming up next, the fireman is here, always ready to commandeer the microphone with his rhyme. Where did this cat go? Listen, anytime Eddie is involved, you better believe that there is a rhyme close to it. But I'm missing it. I'm missing it. He may not be in the building just yet, but we will keep on pushing. So we get a chance to move on to one of our newer mainstays, right? Who continues to come through and just really, really rip. And I'm so glad he shared, like, you know, so many different aspects of what he does, continues to come through week after week and hang out with us. The one and only Dre Reyes in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with you online. Always great to see you, man. Please take it away.
Always great to be here. It's nice to be considered right here. I'm gonna post a fun little commercial for my first chapbook, Imposter Syndrome. They'll just have all the details for you. I got two very different poems. I'm gonna shift the mood drastically. I know that's just my tendency. Somebody dared me to write a poem about soft-boiled eggs. So I did just that. Get ready. Buckle up, buckaroos. Soft-boiled eggs, you have a way of scrambling my brains that leaves me begging for more, like the vor whore that I am. Because of you, Chansey has been considered to be a valued Pokemon to have. I'll never go hungry when Chansey uses soft-boiled. It's super effective. Imagine being able to farm and mass produce Chanseys and send them to areas of the world that need food and sustenance. That would be one cool way to combat world hunger if Pokemon were real, but I digress. The 8 minutes it takes to formulate your sexy ass in a roaring boil pales in comparison to the hours of laughter you'll bring to me and the comical suffering of my enemies. The way you ooze that food porn from your bodies. Whew, brings out the savage in me. Oh yeah, I'm unjustifiably in a position that I rather don't want to be in. Hold up, lost my place. All right, there we go. But I'd rather die of exhaustion than die of hunger. Yeah, it won't happen any other way. Yeah. Oh, soft-boiled eggs every time I see you. You're more electrifying and satisfying than the time before. I am what I am, and even you know that. You drink wet dream colored in yellow. Yeah, there's a shiver that runs down that spine of mine every time I pick you up. and guide you to your demise when I open my mouth and you enter the danger zone. Yeah, egg white yolk and drip. Yeah, I close my mouth and the torment begins. Oh, yeah, snap it to a soft boil. That's that. Now, poem number 2. I guess I was also like hinted at doing this poem. It all started with making holidays sound sexy. So again, buckle up here. I'm gonna light your pussy up like a Christmas tree, enticing and exciting your clit to wit's end with each touch. Whether it be with my fingers, my tongue, or my cock, I'll keep tally of the times I make you come with the lighting of a menorah and canara, because we're going to need that many candles. That's if we could repurpose that candle wax for some hot sheets. I'm going to treat your holes like Thanksgiving dinner and dessert. I want to drip my white gravy all over your breasts and cover your pumpkin pie with my whipped cream. You are bound to sense sensations you have never sensed before. I'm going to eat out that pumpkin pie so thoroughly, I'm not going to leave a trace. You're going to feel like I carved my face into your pumpkin butt. Then I'm going to trick out your feet with my skeet, and it will be a visual treat watching your eyes roll to the back of your head like the undead from my head game. That will only just be the tip of this iceberg of this glacier-sized orgasm I will trigger by scraping my Titanic dick against your clit and then sinking it deeper and deeper, crashing your nervous system with intense waves of sexual nirvana, vibrating with every chakra in your being all the way towards your pussy. And that is when I will make it go off like the 4th of July with your nectar spraying like a sprinkler against my body, leaving streaks against my flesh that I will not resist to indulge in. You are my baby girl, and I want to spend holidays inside you. Thank you.
Yo, that's how you turn it from inside and out. Unmute yourself, give it up for Dre Ray.
Wow. Oh.
I love how you did the Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite
Happy to
wrestlers
someone.
of all time, Randy Savage. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Look, as soon as he went into the whole Macho Man, he said they make me savage. Oh yeah, like oh no, is he gonna do it? He stayed with it, said electrifying and satisfying. Like, yo, that was money. That really was money, man, for real. Just to take it all the way into that, for real. Thank you for going all the way into that character, right? For stepping all the way into it fearlessly. It's not always easy, but you got to commit to that. And you committed all the way to it, and it came off dope. So I appreciate that, Dre Reyes, for real. In the second piece, man, listen, it's just beautifully nasty. You know what I mean? You know, all the way from carving your face into her pumpkin butt. Like that was kind of fly. And the Glacier Shy's orgasm, listen, intense waves of sexual nirvana, like that's good in any season. Like I don't care if it's hot, cold, iceberg, glacier, it's cooking, it's boiling. Crack the ice, it's a furnace going down. Appreciate you, Dre Reyes. I told y'all, it goes down in here. Some people do it, we do this. Appreciate you. Coming up next, another newer member of our community continues to come through and tear it apart. That brick wall, man, there's something about that brick wall. I don't know, but it's hitting hard, man. The one and only James Hamilton in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with you online. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, Elemental. So I'm James Hamilton, author everywhere, Gmail, Threads, YouTube, everywhere, Facebook. So I went to the well tonight, and I got to tell you, this is an older piece, but and I've been waiting to read it. I wrote this 3 or 4 years ago, and it is indigenous people to me our jazz people. This is for the Ray Bremsers, the Jack Kerouacs, the Miles Davis, the Charlie Mingus, all of them, okay? And kind of a tribute to New York too, so I'm gonna let her rip. New York City, 52nd Street, circa 1948. Smoky bar rooms and clubs, all open late. 7 days a week, 9 o'clock at night. Outside, the image, a picturesquely painted sky. Ash-colored backdrop, sullen, murky, flat tones, indistinctly opaque to its esoteric bones. Reflections shine from hazy neon lights, watercolors running, pink and blue ribbons cut through the murky onyx night and drip away as they fade out of sight. Inside, they play. Dark until the morning shows its light. These gods of night, they play. Devil-may-care vagabonds arrive, dressed, pressed to impress, clean-shaven, polished shoes, dark suit, pinstripes, dark tie, still standing out from the rest. Removing segregation, pioneering integration, black and white, the songs they wrote, white and black, the songs they played. Ladies and gentlemen, assembling on stage, in pocket, relaxed, playing notes inked on a page, cool and slight like a breeze, they lean and they sway. Kicking snare triples, a brush, some flair, spinning sticks, sinning, hi-hat, hot tricks, women dancing, horns of gold, bass line steady yet crisply bold, quintets quashing quintuplet pentatonic notes, sweet sounding syncopation, augmented alliteration, polytonality brings 2 times the fascination. Cross rhythm crushed, keys played with soul, the sum of these parts is always more than a whole. Open voicing, outer voice, blowing solos on the stroll, halftime ground beat grooving, risky root chord riffs, funky bridges that don't bridge, rhythm sections changing rhythm, turnaround, tetrachord, manner, crooked, straight eighths, upper structure, voice leading vamp, block chord, backbeat, contrapuntal 16ths, smashing scaled waves against the shore of rock beneath, inversion interlude, improvisation with no rules, boogie woogie bebop, cadence and rhythm that don't stop, flowing cool to flowing hot, blistering pace but no race, resonating till the day breaks. The soundtrack of life continues to play in the background, and life itself goes on another day. The only original art form indigenous to America, where the groove was found. A life with jazz is a jazz life. Weave tight together, timeless music plays now, then, and forever.
Oh, you better play that jazz. Oh, mute yourself. Give it up for James.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, right on.
Definitely got that groove, man. Yeah, felt like I
Thank
was
you.
in nice jazz club.
A life with jazz is a jazz life. That's nice. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, well.
That was good.
Listen, he mentioned some of the most heaviest names in jazz history. If you're not sure who those folks were, go back and listen to them, right? Go back and do yourself a favor and get yourself a Charles Mingus record, right? Get yourself a Miles Davis record. Really, even though they didn't have words in there, they spoke louder. They even spoke for a generation at times. All right. Those cats were about it. I love how you painted the picture, right? The picturesque repainted sky, right? The watercolors running down on 52nd Street, right? And he started talking about the gods of night, right? With the kick and snare triplets, right? Augmented alliterations, right? Funky bridges that don't bridge, right? The improvisation with no rules. I think that's, again, it's where poetry kind of connects with music, is that improvisation, is that there is no rules. We understand it's 12 notes. We understand it's 26 letters, right? Okay, we get it. What else can you do with it? I was, a musician said once, nothing that we hear is real anymore. The only thing that's real is the improvisation. So thank you, James, for sharing that trip with us into reality of, listen, jazz is real. Jazz is indigenous, right? That is a connection to our ancestors in every way. Appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with James Hamilton, a now mainstay of our community. Appreciate you. Coming up next, here he is once again with all the gusto. The Magus is in the building. The one and only Gustav Salas is here. Let these folks know where they can find you, Gustav. It is always great to see you. I know you said you had this one on deck last week, and I'm looking forward to it. Come on, Gustav, take it away.
Hey, Elemental, RMT, and beloved poets. I am Magus801 on Instagram. Come check me out. I have 2 pieces for you tonight. They run right up to time, so I'm going to get right to it. This is True Freedom. The fascist right hates freedom. It's true. They want to control how you do you. Gay or trans, they hate your life. Accuse you as groomers. The hypocrisy's rife. Florida is grooming children to be haters, erase the history of racism and gay rights for gators, and turn women into slavish breeders for moronic white male bottom feeders. Freedom most fundamentally means to control your own body. It's just what it seems. The right is wrong, and their freedom is a lie. Don't tell me otherwise. Don't even try. I've had quite enough of their freedom charade. If you vote for these fools, you got played. Freedom is the right to do as you will, as long as you harm no one or kill. Smoke them if you got them and fuck who you want. Freedom is something we all should flaunt. If Martin Luther King were alive today, I don't presume to know what he would say, but I do know that he would be for human rights and real freedom for all to reach new heights. And this, my friends, I'm going to sing a cappella, a cover of The Who. This is Slip Kid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stay intact. I got my clipboard, textbooks, lead me to the station. Yeah, I'm off to the Civil War. I got my kit bag, my heavy boots. I'm running in the rain, gonna run till my feet are raw. Slip kid, second generation. I'm a soldier at 13. Slip kid, realization. There's no easy way to be free. No easy way to be free. It's a hard, hard world. I left my doctor's prescription bungalow behind me. I left my door ajar. I left my vacuum flask full of hot tea and sugar. Left the keys right in my car. Slip kid, second generation, only halfway up the tree. Slip kid, I'm a relation. I'm a soldier at 63. No easy way to be free. No easy way to be free. Slip kid, keep away, old man. You won't fool me. You and your history won't rule me. You might have been a fighter, but admit you failed. I'm not affected by your blackmail. You won't blackmail me. I got my clipboard, textbooks, lead me to the station. Yeah, I'm off to the Civil War. I got my kit bag, my heavy boots. I'm running in the rain, gonna run till my feet are raw. Slip kid, slip out of trouble, slip over here and set me free. Slip kid, second generation, you're sliding down the hill like me. No easy way to be free. 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 Thank you. Peace. Love you all.
He did it again. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav Salas.
All right.
Yeah.
Go. Nice to pull a Who
That's
song.
my man right there.
Know by heart, man.
That
It was
saying
perfect
some
for
very
it.
great lines in there. That was nice.
Both were great. And to reference a line in your first poem about the grooming, I have a sneaky suspicion all these weeks, Gustav is grooming us to be tolerant and nice people who fight for freedom. So I know what you're doing, Gustav. I'm kidding. Thank you for all your, great, poems. Those are wonderful. Thank you.
Listen, listen. As soon as it comes out and we can make it official, we'll start running Gustav for president all over. All right. Just make sure you're ready. All right. I see you set it up too, for real. Listen, I love how you in True Freedom, you talked about how just retroactive the right is, right? Trying to bring things back into a way that doesn't work. It didn't work then. That's why it evolved into now, right? Trying to make people slavish breeders, right? He said the right is wrong and their freedom is a lie, right? You're absolutely right. If Dr. King was alive, he'd definitely be about human rights, as he was about human rights from the beginning. Slim Kid is an interesting one, right? Run till my feet, I'm gonna run till my feet are raw. I'm a soldier at 13. That speaks so much of people who are fighting for their freedom and trying to carve out their own way, right? Sometimes you are a soldier at 13, sometimes younger, right? Because there's no easy way to be free, right? You and your history don't rule me, right? Right? There's no easy way to be free. Sometimes it's bloody. Just no easy way around it. Appreciate you, Gustav. Always for bringing that. Always for bringing that. That Gusto boy. Tell you that Gusto is real. For real. Every time you see him, he's got it. His poems are always on point. Appreciate you, man. All right. Coming up next, Jedi Master is in the building. Prepare yourself for this experience. I'm telling you, the Metachlorian count in this one is off the chain. The one and only Paul Skiff is here. Let these folks know how they can find you online. It is always great to see you, and I appreciate you for continuing to come and rock with us. Please, take it away.
Hey, hi, everybody. I'm just on IG, Skiffgram on the IG. Just putting up a link here in the chat of want to do a brief acknowledgement. I live as a non-guest and creator on the ancestral lands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Waquazgeek band of the Wappinger tribes, who are now dispersed through the land of the United States and Canada. I offer my deep gratitude for the ways in which the land of this region and its history, as well as indigenous ways of knowing and relating to the human and more than human world, inform my environment here. This place where I am right now used to be called Manhattan, Hilly Island. Also, the place of gathering wood to make bows because of the grove of hickory trees at the south end of the island here. This place was also known as the island where we all became intoxicated. So even before the white colonizers, Manhattan was known as a place for relaxation and enjoyment. I am grateful to acknowledge that I continue this indigenous tradition on this land. Got two short things. This is about freedom with the title, Okay, I'll Take a Moment to Say So. I feel able to speak for many people when I say, yes, I could subordinate to forms of thought and behavior that make you comfortable, be well adjusted, dampen and delimit my spirit to be respectable. I could compete for praise, to have you proclaim me a success. I could decelerate, detour, get stuck, and I even could have paid others for the privilege of submitting to their judgments. Though mostly what an ordinary life has to teach me is how to crave acceptance. It was at one time, perhaps, a choice I could make to be domesticated. But it was never possible that I deprioritize my autonomy, pretend to seek approval, or be chained to the values of a peer group and superiors who serve themselves. I have freedoms to be. And the next piece, I have to clear the air. I don't know if this will come over because I've had trouble with it before. I grew up with a bomb shelter dug beneath the house. It was made by Eisenhower, in a sense, was the cost. I was trained to point the fear at the rest of the world. So every night I could watch their holy men burn themselves to death in the street. Living color was invented to be made by ashes obsolete. My obedience to you is all that was lost. Republican and Democrat. You spend all my money, then you treat me like trash. I hate you with all my light. I hate you with all my light. I hate you with all my light. Now, prosperity is just another name for being soul blind. You can see it in how entertainment made art a crime. It began when you stopped being one of us, we the people. Now your irrelevance is just part of the strength of the truth that's flying out of my throat. I hate you with all my light. 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 Republican and Democrat. You spend all my money, then you treat me like trash. I hate you with all my light. I hate you with all my light. My light. It's a positive emotion that keeps me alive.
Goodness, he just his frequency is crazy.
Woo!
Give it up for Paul Scale.
Yes. Even for you, that was
You're
great. That
always
first
breaking
poem
ground.
just said so much that needed to be said.
All that
much
hate
true
put
history.
into light, and then the way you ended it, I don't think anyone's ever done that before. How did you manage that?
Pauline is the
Like,
poet.
leave it like a flower.
Is the prophet.
That's amazing.
Pauline the poet. Paul is a prophet.
Man, look, this is, and I warned y'all before he started, right? The metachlorian count is high in this dude, right? This is, those strong in the force, they kind of wield things that sound like that. That's why I said his frequency is ridiculous, man, right? Like he creates his own frequency. We used to call it going to the skip verse. And we still go to the skip verse every time he rips, right? Whether he sends his voice or it's actually him. Just when he talks about the, even recognizing where he is, He said it's the island where we all became intoxicated, right? Again, it's such a point of being to know that you are on this land, and then still to act upon it in the most respectable way. It's so much to it. Like, goodness, right? You paid others for submitting to their judgments. Like, what? Learn how to crave acceptance. Like, right? And then he had the nerve to start singing on them. Like, said, I grew up with a bomb shelter dug beneath the house. I hate you with all my light. I hate you with all my light. What? That's bright. That is bright, and your poetry continues to shine just as bright. Thank you, Jedi Master. We truly appreciate you every time you come through to rock with us, and just, man, just light up. You just light up everything that you do. Appreciate you. Let me shout out a couple folks before we move on. Shout out JT Shannon in the building. Reached out earlier. I truly appreciate all that you do in our conversation. Mario was going to come through, but he'll probably be in the actual brick and mortar. Melinda Lucas is here, always coming through. Your energy is always important. We appreciate you. Joan B is in the building. Also, I saw Justin Robinson here. Listen, all of y'all, we thank you for adding your energy to the evening. We hope that eventually you will continue to come through and share your incredible work with us as well. All right. So as I mentioned, the rhyme machine. Oh, also Poetic Desire in the building. What up, East? So the rhyme machine is here. He was dealing with a few things, but he was able to make it happen. Like, as I was mentioning, this cat has always got a rhyme on deck, and you can bet that it's hot. The Flame-tastic one is here. Eddie Foreman, let these folks know how they can connect with you online, man. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for forgiving my lateness. The traffic was a huge pain with a great chance of rain. Ooh, but my name is Ed Potastical, feeling fantastic. Please at the time to join my Ron Foster Sublime. Our brother Elementals being modest. He has a feature on October the 15th. I can't wait. If you want information, please DM him. Woo! All right. My name is Ed Potastical, feeling fantastic. Please get time to join my Ron Foster Sublime. I got 2 pieces, so you know it's gonna rhyme. And happy Native American Day. All right, I got 2 short pieces. This is called Native American Prayer for Healing. Mother, sing me a song that will ease my pain. Mend broken bones, bring wholeness again. Catch my babies when they are born. Sing my death song, teach me how to mourn. Show me the medicine of the healing herbs, the value of spirit, the way I can serve. Mother, heal my heart so I can see the gifts of yours that can live through me. Thank you. And I got another poem, another short piece, ladies least. This is called, I have no idea what this is called, but this is from a poet called Chief Dan George. The beauty of the trees, the softness of the air, the fragrance of the grass speaks to me. The summit of the mountain, the thunder of the sky, the rhythm of the sea speaks to me. The faintness of the stars, the freshness of the morning, the dewdrop of the flower speaks to me. The strength of the fire, the taste of salmon, the trail of the sun, and the life that never goes away. They speaks to me, and my heart soars. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, Eddie, that dude continues to do it too. Unmute yourself, give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Was really nice, Ed. Very thoughtful.
Yeah, well done, Ed.
Beautiful.
Eddie always brings it. Eddie always brings it.
Every single time. Eddie's got it loaded. I'm telling y'all, Eddie's got it loaded every single time, and it's a rhyme, and it's prime, right? Every time. Like, And every time I hear you though, Eddie, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, I got a poem for you, you know it's gonna rhyme, but listen, that dude dropped into like fourth gear on him, right? And he just went all the way in on him, right? Show me the medicine of healing herbs, right? The gifts of yours that can live through me. Come on, what? Listen, in the second poem, you said, the fragrance of the grass speaks to me, right? The trail of the sun speaks to me. When you start listening to the earth, when you start connecting to that level, man, you actually transcend further, you know? I know, you know, we look into the stars and we look for that inspiration coming from that way, but when you ground yourself, it amplifies it so much more. Appreciate you, Eddie. Glad you made it. Always on time. Make sure you are plugging in with Eddie Foreman. I believe he's going to be hosting a horror movie watch party coming up soon. So make sure you are plugging in with Eddie. All right. Coming up next. Where did he go? I saw him come in the room for a second, and then I think he dipped. But, all right.
He's up. I just unmuted him.
Is he? Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I get to yell at this cat. It's been too long. This mainstay right here has been rocking with us for a while, right? Additions to his family. Shout out to family. It is the one and only Rich Daddy Glennon in the building. Been too long, Rich. Been plugging in what you've seen. That cat stays on it, though. Pen stays moving. Always good to see you. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Please, take it away.
Thank you. It has been a very long time, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm going to try to come back more regularly for the Monday night. Thursday night's way past my bedtime, but I'll try to make appearances on Mondays. Yeah, so Rich Glenn, as always, Rich Glenn on Instagram and Tumblr. And I got 3 short pieces. I should be timing myself. All right. This first piece is called Friends. My daughter calls for her cousin from the backyard, but she is 1,000 miles away, a distance she cannot fathom. For just the other day, she and her cousin flipped the couch cushions into a rot pile all by herself. All right, the second poem is called The Versions of Yourself, and I dedicated this one to Allie. You have never loved your skin as much as me, with its lines and acne that to you are an eyesore, but to me, allow a view of the versions of yourself I wasn't able to see before, of the versions of yourself I'm yet to meet. And this last one is called Your Eyes, and I dedicated this one for Jasper, my son. So blue they are, a dash of blind must be swirled into their hue, so you cannot see the sadness inhibiting this world. And when you smile, despite my sorrowful stare, and unveil a canyon of gums, my heart loses its teeth. All right, thank you very much.
Oh, really? You just gonna defang everybody? Just one swoop, huh? Damn it! Unmute yourself. Give it up for Rich Glenn.
Very nice.
Okay,
Hey,
other than
Ray,
not showing the baby, you
come on
did a
back.
good job.
Yeah.
I would, but they're sleeping, right?
The sadness
That's
inhibiting
okay.
this
We
world.
understand, but
The sadness inhibiting this world. Oh, that's a very great line.
Oh,
That's a lovely line.
right.
Thanks, man.
Blue eyes, and you got to mix it so he doesn't see the sadness of the world. Yes, 100%. Listen, I know we talk a lot about, Mother Earth and the mother's love, right? And it's such a beautiful thing. But, when your dad starts talking about how beautiful you are, it's something else, right? It's just something about it, right? I think that the blue eyes, that's gonna stick with folks for a while. He said, so blue they are, right? So you can't see the sadness inhibiting this world. That's in the second poem. You mentioned versions of her that you have yet to meet, right? In the first poem, she flipped the couch cushions into a rock pile all by herself. Like, listen, man, like you are living a dream that people write movies about. You get the luxury to write poems about it. Like, come on, man. Like it's magnificent. Really, shout out to the family. Really appreciate you for coming through, staying up with us and hanging out. Make sure you find yourself here more often. Really. Make sure you're plugging in with Rich Glenn. He said he's on Tumblr too. So make sure you plug it in. Appreciate you, Rich. All right, coming up next, the daughter of Krypton is in the building. This next poet continues to make room, make ways, open doors for poets in so many different mediums. Their latest creation is going to allow people to submit things in just so many different ways. I'm telling you, if you don't know this poet, make sure you're paying attention. The one and only Finn Bell is in the building. Let these folks know how they can connect with you online and all the incredible things that you do. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much, Elemental. You can connect with me on Instagram. I am Finn_Bell. And yeah, the new Lit magazine is coming out on the 15th of this month. It includes wonderful people amongst us like Michael Sindler, Marian Teff, Srilal. So yeah, please look out for it. Okay, 2 poems. I hope it's within the 3-minute limit. The first one I never got to read here, so I'm going to read it. It's a tribute to 9/11. It's called Paper, Ash, Water. M shape reasserts itself on the BART station walls, on the sketchbook spilling its floppy corners onto the soda sticky floor from my lap. I trace it with my eyes, following the movement of my cramped thumb and forefinger. Purposeful charcoal vertical lines escalate to a peak, holding in breath, releasing control, ascending once more, falling down. I am in deep plunge, denial. 2 columns, 2 peaks, 2 towers. Slate crumbling powder, diving headlong into its own abdomen. A tunnel never knows its ending underneath the bay's shark-hungry waters until it does, ceases. Transbay tube escapes from what is perceptible to what is urban wilderness. 2 handfuls of serpentine variation in existence for our bodies to reinvent becoming, being. Transbay tube subway subterfuge from what is inconceivable, untried quantity of shell, of steel, of concrete, of bomb, of shelter, of shroud. Bless the fish bellies full. I heard death as the fullness of silence, of ocean level pressure persisting, of man-made ego yielding. Nature has her brief, shining glory. I am in deep truth recitation. Falling up, shaking the ascension. Who is in control now? I hold breath, gills partially formed, complicity, shaping peaks from smoke, asphyxiation, memory, recall, rewind, courage in unbroken lines can become breached. The flight of my forefinger and thumb, bay hungry water rehydration. My palm extends the wings of aerocraft appendages, lifting, crumpling, heavy bone white page onto my sketchbook, cupping soot, sky, Ember in reverse of living, catching on fire, dangling, burning bodies, mumbled last word prayers, letting them blood stain, mingle grime and life force upon double reinforced BART train window panes as they float cadaver ash, toll taken, walk on water, walk on borrowed time, walk on Brooklyn Bridge to Pacific Ocean, to humanity, lost at sea, to meet no God but God. Okay, then the second poem is called, well, it's titled now, Mother Fallow. It might have a better title. My kitten's trying to jump on my lap. Find all the scattered people in the wind. Heed all the discordant, unheard voices. I hear bones rattle, a mother's harmony beneath the fallow of thieved, reddened soil. An oak tree has forgotten each kin's name, planted herself beside a river, swift current of milk and honey, suckled dry breasts. The babies go hungry. The babies cease crying. The land's heart beats steadily, aerates, falling, breath into brush, rabbit lungs. She runs, 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 purpose embodied, knows swift limbs are existence. She runs, 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 life cycle enlightened, knows swift limbs are survival. In flesh is a night, in a night carnage, in carnage dominion. Solemn gray wolf bathes the golden gourd moon down. Red-shouldered hawk looses arrogant sun from her wings cape. In dominion is a day, in a day decimation, in decimation stillness. Heed all the discordant, unheard voices. Find all the scattered people in the wind. Thank you.
I tried to warn y'all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Thank you, friend. Your music, your reading, the composition, the tones, and the music really came through big time on that one. You know, it's reading and then the words and the composition, but then when the song starts to bleed through and you hear both, that's beautiful. So thank you for that too, on top of the work.
Finn is in my top 5 of poets.
Listen, see what happens when you find yourself amongst a community that loves what you do, that knows what you do, respects what you do. They can openly tell you how much they respect what you do, right? Because we recognize the high level that you do it, right? Even from the very beginning, right? With paper, ash, water. It's, when you think about that, what that does, right? It's almost charcoal, right? It's painting, it's sculpting a picture, it's sculpting what you see that will eventually become history, or her story, or their story, right? Said for our bodies to reinvent becoming, right? I believe you said, I heard death is the full belly of silence. That's just heavy, right? Who's in control now, right? When you just see things unfolding and happening, right? It's asphyxiation memory, right? On the BART train window panes, right? A humanity lost at sea to meet no God but God. Come on, like, okay, you know, okay. In the second piece, you know, you find all the scattered people in the wind. Sometimes, yes, right? People very rarely find themselves attached or planted to anything, so you'll definitely find them in the wind. Thank you, Finn, for being a dedicated member of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with Finn Bell, for real. They are definitely making heavyweight moves. Appreciate you. Coming up next, Vincent Price of Poetry is in the building. continues to come through and shock and amaze. I told y'all the storytellers are in the building. The one and only Ike Waltz is here. Let these folks know where they can connect with you online. And it's always great to see you, Ike. Please take it away.
The indigenous world. And somebody said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, but then you win. This legendary quote accurately describes the stages that movements and social conflicts often go through. Indigenous people, struggle and resilience is no exception. Just imagine Columbus, and shortly after Pizarro landed in the Americas from an Inquisition-riddled Europe, looking for gold in the name of jeweled crowns and their powerful, hungry gods. Hence my 2023 poem called Man and Man-Made. Gods beware. I kiss you with a bullet and kill you in my image with love. I slug you like a baseball and dunk you into bubbling champagne. So let me drown in your image once again. I listen to you with divine pleasure and old-fashioned words, your giggle, meanings of nothing, and carries my plagiarizing letters again. Nothing like playing that celestial, humid jungle 100-degree Fahrenheit again, and you indulge in all that luscious existence. I kiss you with love. I kill you with a delightful game. Our days made of shivering creamy ice, melting on impact with sticky delight. And I lick your immortal body for the emptiest time. You close in expectation these fiery, warmongering eyes. That, you see, is what I feel. Is it what I am? Is it who you are? Is it what forever we have been? Is it what is that undisputed forever? Can it be that only what your ego has actually seen? All the time of pregnant hope, when that unimaginable turned into what we became over eons of time. Remember, you are, and so we, but just like us, just like any god, totally insane, experiencing that swaggering dance of birth or beginning to die for, floating in daylight clamor on all these payments due without a grain of shame. But in your image of darkness, our dreams remain unchanged. It's always the same old loneliness, the same old hope, boring, yet all that expecting, yet all same. Brothers, sisters, remember, only the perfect gods cannot be challenged by that mundane we call fate. But universe, beware of the perverse power of love. It's the ultimate eclectic weakness, and that all in God's image. So dubious again. Today, I find myself existing at the discretion of imperfection, on my knees in bloody history and spiritual lust. And now that it is time and I must cash in my one-way ticket on the infinite road leading to the afterlife. Yeah, meeting our man-made gods and hand over that stolen gold, if you will, which the man-made gods so desperately need. Pay for their absolution called hell. Thank you.
Oh, what the? Damn it, Ike. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike. Whoa.
Never fails.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ike, again.
Right on.
Beautiful words, beautiful words, beautiful words. I love your take on imperfection. That was beautiful.
Inimitable delivery.
I'm telling you. It almost sounded like he traveled the path and found himself at the, the river Styx where you're supposed to, the boatman and Quran and all that. That poem just sound like he went down there and smacked the shit out of that bag of bones. Like, please, like, nah, I don't believe anything. I don't even believe you're real. Like, I love poems like that, right? Said man and man-made, right? In the first piece, you talked about social conflicts, right? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, right? It's just natural progression of things, right? Especially when they're trying to please their powerful, hungry gods, right? You said, I kiss you with a bullet. You just continue to do this, right? He's just like any guy, they're totally insane, without a grain of shame, right? The discretion, at the discretion of imperfection, right? When they meet their man-made gods, listen, you have to know that there's more than what people push at you, right? When you go searching for it again, you find this type of enlightenment. And for everything else, find yourself here because they will enlighten you. Appreciate you, Ike. You continue to put in that work. I'm telling you, Vincent Price strikes again and doesn't miss. Appreciate you. Shout out to storytellers in the building. I'm telling you. Oh, y'all get me so excited. From one storyteller to another. The most eloquent writer I know, staying up crazy late to hang out with us. This incredible gentleman continues to take words to other dimensions. The one and only Lantern Carriers in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you, Lantern. Please take it away.
Thank you. It's in the chat. Throughout history, oppressors have used the deployment of propaganda to achieve their aims. Tarzan depicted the myth of savage blacks climbing trees like monkeys, even as John Wayne portrayed the virtues of a civilized world by those too callous to remember the brutality of the historical past. They took from the oppressed and indigenous people who were freedom's true voice, pioneers who contributed to science, ecology, the environment, and much more. The Arawaks, Incas, and Aztecs left us the most astonishing artifacts, gold, diamonds, and other gems. The Caribs showed courage, resilience, and sacrifice, taught how to advance and retreat from sophisticated caves. The free nations were in North America before the Portuguese came, before Columbus claimed lands on behalf of corporate mercenaries in Europe. The indigenous interpreted the weather and seasons, could tell the sound of distant hooves or running water in the distance. The Navajo were code talkers, a gift that was never once broken in World War II. Australasia, the Philippines, Polynesians, the archipelago of Africans and Hispanics that stretches from the tip of Florida all the way down to South America contributed lots to the opulence of the Western world. Greed and power exploited the indigenous people on the sugarcane, tobacco, and cotton plantations. Yet reparation and forgiveness is still difficult for those who enact laws ironically championing liberty, equality, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. We can still see Apaches and Comanches dying in movies, a history being spun by the victors, not of a brave indigenous people defending their bloodlines and lands, but instead a mocking of customs and values no one bothered to understand, calling them savages. The quest for identity, the traumas of mental, emotional, and physical abuse, the defilement of women in a very recent past continues. Indigenous Peoples Day is all about sharing their contributions to culture, language, and social systems, helping societies to learn about their heritage, keeping the traditions alive for future generations. In 1996, Canada celebrated the history and contributions of the Métis, the great storytelling Inuit and First Nation peoples. They included traditional feasts, festivals, dances, spiritual and other teachings. The indigenous people contributed to the development of agriculture, language, and social customs, the importance of creating crucial partnerships to protect heritage and culture today. The UN launched International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples in 1994, celebrating global contributions, striving to preserve their cultures, solve land disputes, and reconciliation with governments across the globe. Ironically, Christianity was forced, with humans seemingly unconscious of its gentle message of peace, humility, and forgiveness, of love and compassion. Pranams and gratitude to Chiefs Cochise and Geronimo and all the indigenous people for the women's contribution to voting rights and the shared story of what America is today. Thank you, Joe Biden, for recognizing this day, their unparalleled sacrifice. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
An unparalleled sacrifice indeed. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, Lantern
We are
Carrier.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. And I am grateful that the day was named, and also that there's also I lived out in Suquamish, and there is a the president gets to name the head of the nations, and they put in this sort of czar person in there. So it's a double-edged sword. So keep your eyes peeled to the good that they do. There's a little backstabbing knives inside that inside those legislations that semi-free them.
Of course there is. What? It wouldn't be legislations without backdoors. It wouldn't be legislation without red tape. Come on, CC, you know what it is. He said, be careful. There's fine print, loopholes, backdoors, of course. Listen, Lantern, you continue to take it up a notch, right? And what I love about what you do, Lantern, is you always pay homage to where it came from before you take it to where it's going, right? And in the very beginning, you mentioned Tarzan, right? And in the research that I've done, it does point to that as one of the first depictions of negativity of Aboriginal people or indigenous people, right? Based on his interaction as this hero, right? And I love how you mentioned that he was looking for gold on behalf of corporate mercenaries in Europe, right? He mentioned the code talkers in World War II, right? That was native tongues, right? We dealt with that like a few weeks ago, right? I appreciate that part too, right? He talked about the sugarcane, the tobacco, and the cotton fields, right? All these things, a history being spun by the victors. Please, we have to recognize that. Please, right? But it's important that we continue to do these things because we're sharing the contributions of the culture, right? Keeping the traditions alive for future generations. Thank you, Lantern Carrier. Every time that you do what you do, we are doing just that. We appreciate you, truly, for hanging out with us. It's crazy late up there across the pond, but we thank you for hanging out and sharing your genius with us. Truly appreciate you. All right. Couple more poets, and we're going to pass it off to Ron. Coming up next, our brother out on the West, shout out to East Bay in the building. This cat, I mean, he's coming up on 10, really close, coming up on 10 books. I think he might be 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. This cat continues to rip it apart every time you see him. The one and only D. Allen in the building this evening. Come on, D. Allen. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It's always great to see you, man. Please, take it away.
It's been a while, folks. Now to get my 3 minutes started. From my fifth book, Eloise Nietzsche, Poems, 2013 to 2018, released Earth Day 2020. From section 2 of the book entitled Beauty of Nature, from pages 28 and 29, tonight's poem is called The Silversmith, based on actual people and events. It took a silversmith, a Chalagi silversmith, to give 7 clans, his tribe, a unique voice. In the early 19th century, the silversmith, the Chalagi silversmith, had found, scattered by the wind, snow-white leaves not seen on any bushes he knew. Curiosity drew the silversmith, the Chalagi silversmith, to closely examine snow-white leaves bearing unusual marks he couldn't read. Inspiration stirred the silversmith, the Chalagi silversmith, to avoid using the hammer, anvil, sheet metal, flame, and forging new items his tribe needed. Imitation drew the silversmith, the Chalagi silversmith, to dip a feather dipped in ink and copy 26 English letters, designed 60 mo behind them. It took a silversmith, a Chalagi silversmith, to give 7 clans, his tribe, a unique voice. Written on crisp, flat, snow-white leaves that talked back to the eyes. And that poem was called The Silversmith, about 19th century Chalagi silversmith and linguist for his nation, Sequoia, also known as George Gist, who invented the Chalagi or Cherokee alphabet. He saved his entire people's language by developing an alphabet of 86 characters for it. And that poem happens to come from my 5th book, Eloise Nietzsche, Poems, 2013 to 2018, still available from Conviction to Change Publishing. From this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening, and always remember, sure you can trust the government, just ask an Indian. Good night, happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Unmute yourself, give it up for D. Allen.
You see, I told you you could trust the government.
Lots of other stuff just that good in that book too.
That's some beautiful information, D. Allen. Thank you.
Yeah.
It takes a creative being. It takes a fearless creative being to create a language, right? In the poem, he said that this person couldn't read. There were markings on it that he couldn't read, but he was able to come up with those 26 and 60 more behind it, right? To give 7 clans, his tribe, a voice, right? There's something about that, right? He said inspiration stirred the silversmith, right? For some reason, that it reminded me of a story, like a base literature story, man. Like it should be part of a curriculum. The way that you write that, D, for real, like, man, it just the way that you put that together. Need to do some other things with that. Make sure you're plugging in with D. Allen. He's got books on books. He continues to do it at a high level and continues to produce work that is just stellar. Appreciate you, D. Allen. Good to see you. Don't be a stranger. All right. One more poet, and we'll pass it over to Ron. Coming up next, our resident musician in the building. Stays with this hat, man. You know, I mean, y'all know I like my brims, but his man just be like, shoo, always on point. Our resident musician in the building, the one and only CC Arshara is here. Let these folks know how they can find you online. CC, always great to see you, man. Please take it away.
Thank you. I love you all, love you all more than you know. It's cold here, so the hat literally keeps the heat down. I'm a cold person. I'm gonna start I'm gonna go with water. First time I've ever done this. This is one of my art pieces. This is a pastel. I'm gonna do on the theme of water tonight. And I used to live in Squamish, Washington, which is where Chief Seattle had a little memorial there. And I used to go there and just lay my back on the ground and live between the earth, holding me up in the sky just above me, and wonder what the hell I'm doing in between the two. It was a beautiful memorial on this wood thing. And I used to just like meditate there, sometime just be. And Chief Seattle wrote what's called Seattle's Lament. There's stories about him. They're good, bad. People think it's right or wrong. But 1854, he basically signed over the land and took to the reservation. But inside Chief Seattle's Lament, which you could print out online and find out all the versions and what happened, there's these words. It's just a sentence or so. Your time of decay may be distant, but it will surely come. For even the white man whose God walked and talked with him as friend to friend cannot be exempt from the common destiny. We may all be brothers, after all, we will see. And that is in essence what the man who signed over all the land and the chief. And it's an interesting story, but it's too long. So way back in 2000, I was working on a song, and then I reworked it, and it became what's called The Future of Water. I'm going to do an a cappella of it tonight if I can remember the phrasing in my head. So I'm going to give it a shot. The future of water, the future of sunlight, the future of air may you breathe. The presence of your hands, the presence of your words, the present is your thoughts, our deeds. So what are we doing to this world's tomorrow, to our universal earth seed? Do you think your fears claim right? An eternity of God fights to damn the diverse human being? Why damn the future of water and sunlight and air let us breathe? Why reign over life gives and ruin all the lessons we leave? The children will come into all that we leave them as slavery, waste, and machines. The children may come to be ways that we rear them with righteous, safe fears and disease. The diseases of water, the diseases of sunlight, the disease in the air we believe. As the presence of our hands and the presence of our words deny, we fuel killings with greed. The morning is coming, we're hungry and thirsty, and why? Why should clean air and water and sunlight be yours but not mine? As if sharing means not enough natural resources for all, till the future of human means warring is all we're good for. The future of water, the future of sunlight, the future of air may you breathe. The presence of our hands, the presence of our words, the present is our thoughts, our deeds. May we breathe, may you breathe, let us breathe now, breathe. Something like that.
Something like that. This dude drops a hit says something like that.
And this is a line from another song. This says, the trees we climbed up in fear as we cut the whole rainforest down.
This cat's amazing. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CC Oshara.
Yeah, CC.
Yeah.
Hey, love it.
Some days, sometimes, you know, listen, I'm so thankful for all of you, right? I'm so blessed to be your host. But you know, sometimes y'all make me feel like I'm, you know, tumbling down this rabbit hole because y'all are so many different, just like, is this Wonderland because each one of you just has so many beautiful characteristics of a character that sometimes I don't know if y'all are real, right? Like Paul Skiff just sends his voice sometimes, right? Like y'all are just so damn amazing. I'm not sure if somebody drew you or if you're just that damn amazing in real life. I just, y'all continue to amaze me every single week, right? He said, even man and their God cannot be exempt from the common destiny. The common destiny, right? Under this sun, there is a common destiny. You better believe that you're walking directly into it. But thankfully, there's CCR Chagra to remind you. Appreciate you, CC. And even in acapella, it's still cooking, man. Damn. Appreciate you, CC, for real, for all the music that you bring, man, acapella or otherwise. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, before we move on, I am going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
I am feeling okay. Thank you so much, Elemental. And also thank you for giving this theme, Happy Indigenous People Day, to everyone. This is, so powerful and needed. I learned a lot, today that I didn't even know, about, especially since, the media still, touts the other holiday formerly known as, So again, thank you for giving this theme and thank you everyone for writing and reading, to this powerful theme. Really appreciate it. So I am Ron Mark Thompson. I am the tech assistant here in the background. I also work as the programs and operations assistant in the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I had the blessing and honor of guest hosting the last two Thursdays. I now know how difficult it is to enforce the 3-minute time limit, especially when we hear powerful songs and powerful poetry. So I want to be a good example, and I'm going to try to get my promotions done within 3 minutes, because I know I, go way over that myself. So here is me timing myself. Let's see if I can do that. So for everyone, including the newcomers, this is the Monday night online open mic. This is one of our 4 online programs at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Mondays, 8 p.m., hosted by Elemen2al. Thursdays is our Thursday night online open mic, hosted by our executive director, La Brua. You may get artist RSVP tickets for either one of those 24 hours, starting at 24 hours in advance on our ticket site, which is at neweurekan.org. Click on full events calendar, and there you can choose the date and the time. You can also watch the live streams, Facebook, YouTube, or X, formerly Twitter. There you may also play back Beatniks Online, which is our monthly program curated and hosted by La Brua. We did a very powerful Hispanic Heritage Month edition last week. You can watch this back Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Also, we will be, doing online workshop. This is our 4th online offering. We're going to try to get back to it, especially, during the reconstruction, which is a great segue, because this is the New Eurekan Poets Cafe as it currently looks on East 3rd Street in Manhattan, New York City, between Avenues B and C. We will be closing this building after October 31st, our 50th anniversary, to allow the city a major reconstruction of the building. It is old. It's older than the New Eurekan Poets Cafe itself. Until then, continue to support us. Go to our in-person programs weekly, Mondays, Monday night on-site open mic taking place right now, hosted by Sol Preem. Happy birthday wishes to Rice Felicia. She will be back there next week. Wednesday, Night Poetry Slam, hosted this Wednesday by the Bee, the next Wednesday by J Rose, and then the last Wednesday before the construction on Wednesday, October 25th, will be hosted by the Bee, 8 p.m. Fridays, 10 p.m., hosted by Chive Poetic. Friday Night Slam, followed by the Open Room, Open Mic Twilight Hour, hosted by Chauvet. We also have this weekend, in person in the cafe, a film documentary screening, The Godfather Comes to 6th Street. It is the making of The Godfather, and the reason we chose this to to do a presentation in our cafe is because 6th Street is where the original Nuyorican Poets Cafe's location was, including the co-founders Miguel Algarin's mother's apartment, where it actually started 50 years ago, the first poetry open mics and slams. This is at 4 p.m. this Saturday. Tickets are $10. And at 8 p.m. this Saturday, Voices and Vibes, our karaoke and vocal open mic hosted by Paul Concasso. Tickets are only $5. Next week, from Puerto Rico on Saturday, October 21st, 7 p.m., our executive director, Caridad de la Luz, aka La Brua. She wrote this play, she acts in it. All ticket sales will go to our Next 50 fund, which supports the programming for the next 50 years for the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Then followed Thursday, October 26th, 7 p.m., Jazz Gria, our last jazz program in the cafe before the construction, 7 p.m. on October 26th. Tickets are only $5. Salsa Jam on Sunday, October 29th, 7 p.m. Doors open, 8 p.m. The show starts, $10. And then you heard Elemen2al mention it at the beginning. On October 31st, not only is it Halloween, but it is the exact 50th anniversary of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. That will, we have two events on that day in person. At 4 p.m. for the kids and families and adults, if you want to. We have a free haunted house in the building in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And then at 10 p.m. a ticketed event for adults only. That one will be for 5 hours. We're going to have prizes, performances, music, games, and at midnight we're going to toast with champagne. So this will be our last event in person in the current building. Tickets are $50 to coincide with the 50th anniversary and the Next 50 fund. If you can, support us, if you're in New York City, you already may purchase your tickets. As I mentioned, go to nuyorican.org, click on full events calendar, choose the date and time, same place where you got your tickets for tonight. Also, if you want to be on our mailing list, I'm going to put that in the chat in the next few minutes. If you're watching on our live streams at the moment, just scan the QR code. You can pause the video. And last but not least, here are all of our links and social media platforms represented on one slide, including Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube. I also put La Brua's Instagram handle and Elemen2al's Elemen2al Vision Works. You can help us to support future programs, especially the free ones here, the Monday and Thursday night online open mics, by making a donation on our website, nuyorican.org/contribute. So thank you everyone for listening. Now let me first of all turn my camera on so you can see me. Hi everyone. And I now have the pleasure to introduce our next performer, all the way from the Midwest. She has become a mainstay. They have, referred other performers to us. Kitty, we are so lucky and happy to have you back. You know the drill. Let everyone know where we may follow you, and then the next 3 minutes are all yours. Everyone, welcome back, Kitty.
Hey, thank you for having me. I just want to correct something. I think you said that I'm from the Midwest. I'm actually from Massachusetts. But
you know what? I didn't know. For some reason, I thought you were from Minneapolis, but hey, thank you for correcting me. I want to make sure I get that right. So I'm from Massachusetts. Okay.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate it either way. All right. So I have a poem that I have read on here before already, and I'm going to read it. There's a little bit of an adjustment to it at the end. And also you can find me on Instagram under Kitty _ the Poetic Cat, and it's cat with a K. We walk on stolen land. We may not have stolen it ourselves, but it's up to us to pay homage for the lives lost and wreckage that's been dealt. We must make a stand to stop the violence that currently exists in the hands of both woman and man. Silence doesn't create peace. It invites in oppression that needs to be released. Otherwise, it invokes aggression and depression because we didn't speak and communicate what it is that we seek. Justice is what we need. The craving for equality brings me to my knees, praying for change. The unjustified crucifixion over skin colors fills me with outrage. How can you hate someone without even knowing them? How can anyone dislike another simply because they look different from their biological sisters and brothers? Those who stereotype and fear another just because they're different are fucking weak. It's apparent to anyone with the ability to see that they hate you because you're worth more internally than they will ever be. It's dishonorable and disgusting to see others treat people like there's some sort of mockery. When will society open up their eyes and realize that we all excrete the same color when it leaks out of us? But parts of society are more focused on dividing than uniting. If we are united, the government is scared we're going to fight them, and we will fight, standing up for what is right. The fact that some can only view people as mere bodies and not notice the spirit and soul within them should be deemed a type of disorder. It's the equivalent of wearing blinders, unable to see anything but what they choose to look at and believe, keeping themselves closed-minded because they refuse to go a little deeper than superficial means. An inability to analyze people for who they are because they're too busy looking for a flaw or scar. They view differences as flaws, and that's where they go wrong, because diversity is like a beautiful song that I love to sing along to. And I want others to sing with me too. Thank you for having me.
You know what? Let's all sing together with Kite for diversity. Everyone, please unmute yourself. Wow.
All right, get to opening the pipe.
Great
Get vulnerable,
sentiment.
get brave, and teaching us all about our shit, and we can learn from it.
That is right. Yes. Oh my God. So many quotable lines. You know, Kite, the Zoom chat was busy during your performance. I mean, right from when you started, we walk on stolen land, but we may not have stolen it ourselves, but still, you know, we need to do something about it. And you mentioned, you know, silence may not create peace. So powerful. You also mentioned about that, you know, how we all want to be united, but it looks like we are split. And I, as we're celebrating this day today, I'm like, why are United States of America? I think we need to examine the part united a little more and really fight more to make it more united and better for everyone, you know, including who our ancestors stole it from. So thank you, Kite. That was a very good contribution, you know, to today's theme. We love you from Massachusetts. Now I'm going to have it in my brain. Make sure that, you know, I don't put you in a different part of the country, but we're going to go all the way to the other side now, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And I know he definitely has to say something about today. He's always been a great activist and a great storyteller. Mr. Tess, thank you for being here with us today. You know how it goes. Let everyone know where we may follow you, which I see you just put in the Zoom chat. Wonderful. Mr. Tess, the floor is all yours. Welcome back.
All right. Thank you, Mr. RMT. I'm going to roll right into it. Folks can follow me on Instagram under Gashes2019. I have a piece on theme titled To Die For. The problem is not of legal status. It is one of culture and social economic mobility. It is foolish for marginalized people to depend on a law to make them acceptable by white society, nor should they react to the rejection. The problem is social, economic, and cultural, not one of adjusting the legal relationship between the two groups. When the marginalized people seek to change their role by adjusting the laws of the nation, they merely raise the spectacle of hope that progress is being made, but not really. It's pure political aestheticization. Simply because a middle-class marginalized person can eat at the Holiday Inn is not a gain. Vine DeLorean from Custard Diet from Your Sins, page 174. Long gone are the days of tribalism. Hurrah, hurrah. These structures, social structures, humans created to survive. In transitioning from geofence, bioregionalist, heterotopic tribalism, patriotism will be used to whitewash tribalism. Okay, I'm trying to find my mouse here. Okay. As a tribe is a cross-generational with significant shared experiences, religious experiences, and social ethical purposes. Righteous tribalism is defined by social ethical purposes that contribute to the welfare and prosperity of the people and to contribute to the proper relations to other life and the land. Tribalism as a semiotic signifier has been fractured via bifurcating entropy. Today, we relish in the ungrounded marketing tribalism. We linger in the consumptive corporatist branded tribes. Imagine the carcinogenic sports tribes with marketing tribal names like the Michael Kors or the Gucci's or the Chanel's. But I think that's already a true statement. Tribalism has been inverted and ungrounded. The core of tribalism has been co-opted in the service of the brand. No consequences for the tribalists who Venn diagram across multiple tribes, the nuisance free riders, the tribal defectors, the tribal polemigists, the tribal manufacturers who rationalize their opportunism as ethical poly. Patriotism becomes the universal with mythical psychic power to erase geology, territory, history, genealogies, and historical materialism, echoing Marshall Berman's mantra, all that is solid melts into air, the experience of modernity. To Berman's dismay, New York City's subway map designers had designed it according to Berman's vision of modernity. Why? Because we needed a sense of national ego, a national identity, to remember what binds us together, the diversity brought about by multiple waves of immigration that challenges what it means to be in America. Remember October 4th, 2007, when Eagle Eye reporter noticed something missing from Democratic presidential candidates, contenders, Senator Barack Obama's lapel? Quote, "You don't have the American flag pin on. Is that a fashion statement?" The reporter questioned Obama's patriotism. Obama responded, "Those have been on politicians since September 12, 2001. The point was missed on talk radio and cable news, who quickly pounced on him. You show your patriotism by how you treat your fellow Americans, especially those who served. And you show your patriotism by being true to your values and ideals. That's what we have to lead to with our values and ideas," Obama said. Patriotism advertises its capacity to unify people who might otherwise focus more on their differences than on their commonalities. But really, it's not the reduction of the number of differences, but rather the multiplication, the pluralization or proliferation of differences. The aim is not less difference, but more difference, a contagion of differences. It's not a question of an alternative between Lucretius or Derrida, replacing one difference with difference as language, with a difference that makes all the difference into atoms. This reduction of difference to one difference that makes all the difference, or one difference that makes the most important difference, will only lead us to the hegemonic fallacy of linguistic imperialism that exercises leadership either through diplomacy, coercion, or persuasion. It deploys its preponderance of power. We enjoy wrapping ourselves in the flag. It hurts to step outside without the emblematic emblazoned brand. We as people willingly adorn ourselves with the symbols of faceless mega corporations. We unknowingly pledge allegiance to a tribe that prioritizes profit margins over principles. In this twisted landscape, individuals proudly display their allegiance to the church of corporatism, donning the sacred attire of Nike, Apple, or Coca-Cola, as if these brands were the totems of a new age religion. As we strut through the new urban prairies, we devotees of the corporate tribe wear the paradoxical insignia, blissfully unaware that the more we pay to wear the brands, the more the brands wear us.
Oh my goodness. Did you do what? Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr.
That
Taylor.
closing line was a killer. That closing line was a killer. Read it again.
I told y'all about the storytellers being in the building. Mr. Tez never disappoints. His poems are always just righteous tribalism, right? He said they're marketing tribalism, right? You know what? So there's just some things that just get me excited, damn it. He said, what about the carcinogenic sports tribes? Right? The Michael Kors, oh my goodness. They Venn diagram across multiple tribes, right? Historical materialism, like there's so much in what you do, right? With a difference that makes all the difference, right? Hegemonic fallacy, linguistic, totems of a new age religion indeed, right? Sometimes I don't know if it's the stock market or the religious channel. I totally hear you on that one. Thank you, Mr. Tez, for continuing to come and raise the IQ in every room you step into. We truly appreciate you. Truly, just continuing to do it. A mainstay of our community. All right, coming up next is a poet that has come and rocked with us before, but hasn't been in for a while. But I am looking forward to what they have brought this evening. Welcome back. Shreya is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you back. Please take it away.
I'm happy to be back. Thank you so much. You all can find me here. I will try to come more often. For now, I don't have a social media yet, but I will be back more often for sure. This week, I wrote a poem called Whose Freedom? And it goes like this. This Sunday morning, I felt free, occupationally unburdened and socially at ease. I was on my chair, perched on the precipice of privilege, my existence as unstained as the white linen edge. The repugnance of my past, as colored and as othered, did not cross my mind. For Monday was also a holiday, and so my worries still had time. Far too familiar to many, suffering to me was a nebulous stranger, hiding or parading in hats of different color. Its gnarly reach just missing me by sometimes only a shoulder. I felt free, remember? And is it this ignorance and oblivious bliss that would render the fight of my forefathers honored and remembered? What lies in whose truth? And could I ever be a good soldier? When to me I feel seen, understood, challenged, and now even a member. And for they slay their sinews to get a chance at what they deserved. And I reap and reap the acceptance they earned. My freedom is not denial, though, and it is not complete neither. But for today, it let me bask in the existential dread of merely what to make for dinner.
Sometimes it's those simple things that just, they make all the difference. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Shreya.
Shreya, what lies in whose truth? That's a killer.
I felt
That's a
that
good one.
existential dread.
I don't know how you spell whose, but I think it's a apostrophe S.
It's when you can go into a space like that and write something like that, right? You have to share it with the world because the world can benefit from it, right? You said you felt free. When was the last time any of us could actually say something like that? She said, I felt free, right? Socially at ease. Perched on the precipice of privilege. Damn, that's just funny how that went together, right? She said Monday was a holiday, so my worries still had time, right? And I think that is how it's been approached all the way up to this time. Oh, we got time. Don't worry about it. We can still get some things done. We got time. I think every time we do something like this, as you mentioned, right, you render the fight of my forefathers honored and remembered, right? Can I ever be a good soldier? Absolutely. You know how you're such a good soldier? By doing what you do, right? By writing a poem like that and sharing it with the world to remind not just us, but your forefathers that they are honored and remembered. And you are taking up the good fight and fighting it. So thank you, Shreya. Make sure you continue to come through, find your way back to Monday as much as possible. We truly appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, another OG in the building. I'm telling y'all, prepare yourself. The one and only Ngoma is in the building. Listen, I got a chance to run across this cat, and I'm telling you right now, he did not come here to tap dance. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Baba, always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Okay. I'll put it up in a minute. Let me do this. I want to try to do 3 poems in 3 minutes. So let me see if I can get this on. The first 2 are like down with the theme for today. This one is called Blood-Stained Handprints on the Wailing Wall for Palestine. The emperor has new clothes, but the strings are pulled by the same puppeteer. The general's closet is opened wide, skeletons tumbling like dominoes, gossip on every channel, quite a distraction from important things. But you know that little thing inside your head that keeps you from saying things you shouldn't? I don't have one of those. My wingman's on vacation. I'm staring truth in the face, realizing that the East has no middle, and there's no peace on the Mount of Olives with Uranus squaring Pluto. Artillery shells lob back and forth like a Wimbledon without a referee. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, gives us some illusions that there is no karma. If all the killing is done by drones, the trigger has no soul. History books burned, the rent is laid on leased memories. Everyone running for the border, no one knowing where it is, yet claiming they were there first, drawing lines in the sands of time, altered by windstorms, schizophrenic escapees from Holocaust ovens, confuse sovereignty with terrorism. The death count grows steadily. Integrity takes a vacation, legs spread like a general's side piece, blood-stained handprints on the wailing wall. That's one. This pandemic ain't new. This is from the Corona Chronicles, which is and also in the book, I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. About 1492, we landed in the Bahamas, thinking it was India. Things been jacked up since then, trading beads and Bibles for land on the trail of broken treaties. Racism is the thesis, but these school of life dropouts just don't get it. So killer bees or killer cops, death hangs out in the shadows, waiting for the eagle to fall. And there's not enough social distancing to take back stolen land. So heart drum beats from Atlanta to Auschwitz, from Tuskegee to Mississippi to Palestine. And there's no justice in the hood but a bullseye on a jogger's back for running while black. Going to church could get you killed as we pray to Jesus to save us. But this disaster of a virus that the resident in the White House, who obviously cut science class, has always been absent from church, says it's safe, since obviously he won't be there. 3. This month is Domestic Violence Month. Awareness Month. And I got to do this poem, and I hope I can find it quickly. Shit, I had it. I'm sorry, I had it and now I don't. So. Oh well, I'm sorry. I can't find. Well,
listen,
give me another minute or so. I'll find it. But
we listen. Again, love to Oshun Oyen for always being in the background to shine as planets do rotate around each other. Listen, it is always great for Ngoma to come through and do what he does, right? Because you have such a great perspective, right? One that we very rarely get to hear, especially in the way that you do it, right? If you're able to find it, cool. If not, I really wish you could, because I would really love to hear it.
I'm still looking real quick. I know it's on here, but the question is,
it's running from you, right?
Yeah, right.
It's running away just because of the importance of it. And listen, maybe it's because of the fact that you're talking about Palestine, right?
What do you think?
Debunking the American myth, as I mentioned before, right? Folks don't want you to talk about those things. They don't want you to get into all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also important for us to talk about Domestic Violence Awareness Month, right? Again, I wish we could get to it. But however, unmute yourself. Give it up for Baba Ngoma.
Thank you, Baba.
Yeah.
Love, brother.
Always.
Thanks for coming here again, boss. Missed your voice the past few weeks.
You'll find that poem. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, we will be here for it, just like we always are, for whatever you decide to bring and share with us. It is so important that we learn from the folks who have done it before us, who are continuing to do it at this high level, right? Shedding blood, like he said, this pandemic ain't new, right? He landed in the Bahamas. If you don't know about it, learn about it, right? They trading Bibles for land, right? It's not enough social distance to take back this stolen land, right? Tuskegee, to Mississippi, to Palestine. The East has no middle. The East has no middle. Everyone running for the border, no one knowing where it is. Appreciate you, Baba. Anytime he comes through, he's dropping that knowledge on you. As I mentioned, did not come here to tap dance. Make sure you plug in with the OG, man, for real. Coming up next, new member of our community has come through before to wreck it and has come back to rip it apart once again. The one and only Sierra is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is great that you have come back. Please take it away.
So good to be back. Thank you. Haven't set up a social media just yet, but we're getting there, right? So these couple poems are kind of part of a collection that I'm building. So they go hand in hand. Where did blank go? Like a siren shedding its scales into the sea, singing songs of solemn hope, searching for a spell to break the curse of lonely. She's been imprisoned in an ancient broken system designed to entrap people to lazy labels. It's laughable. Raindrops bounce against an oil-slick ground, sounding like bullets ricocheting off metal plates. They create shell-shock memories inside her shimmering brain. She's named after a range of mountains that she's forced to eternally climb. Time moves different there, catatonic. She mistakes fantasy for reality, handcuffed to the expectation of normalcy. She's socially deficient, intermittent losses of consciousness, incoherent sentences, a dire prognosis. She's unaware of her own existence. Shuffling through hallways, trying to find her way out of her way. The exit sign has transformed into a bouquet of pill bottles. She's made a bed of them. Transfixed on a harrowing, hollow sorrow from yesterday and tomorrow's overcast, hanging heavy over her haggard body, her voice lost to the sorries never spoken. Like ibuprofen, she absorbs pain. Her gown stained with anger and suspicion, like hazardous conditions, she comes with a warning. Her tears and smiles are synonymous. The second poem is called Impatience. We are the stories that make up textbooks, are the faces to the labels in a Bible spotlighted on every clinician's bookshelf. We are what you don't want to see in yourself, the diagnoses breathing, their reason for being. We painted the pages sepia, like the socks we're forced to wear, or the twice-tied gowns hanging on our bare bodies, the uniform for the byproducts of a broken system. Together, we form the curve of that green ribbon. We are the sound of wailing, the infant structure of society failing, the comedic relief, the stereotypical belief in limitations due to diversity, the shuffling of feet on cracked concrete in the ghetto, the voices mumbling inaudible, the recipients of dirty looks and unjust blame, the victims of unhinged attacks and internalized shame, the inflamed brains too stubborn to change, the unclaimed name tags on toes, the abandoned clothes, the secrets never told in families. We are reality, tainted with the blood of truth. We wear our scars like tattoos and our traumas like new shoes. We make you uncomfortable on purpose. That crawling feeling on your epidermis, that gnawing guilt like hell's furnace, that clawing away inside, forcing you to hide behind your own normalcy. We are the loss of dignity exchanged for healing. The 20-minute consultations resulting in lazy recommendations at a psychiatrist's discretion, an easy description of dysfunctionality. We are disability invisible, so practically to you, our personhood is too.
You better come through and spit that fire. Unmute yourself, give it up for Sierra.
Woo!
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, buddy.
You brought the flame, the kindling, the log, and the fire.
It's about time you found yourself back here again.
Yeah, overdue.
Tell her. Listen, I don't have to yell at you. I just let the OGs do it. Yeah, listen, you can't come through and just start throwing flames all over the place. You know what I mean? I understand it's kind of cool outside, but goodness, where did Blake go? Damn it. Singing songs of solemn hope, like, listen, the shell shock memories inside her shimmering brain, like that's just shiny. Right? She's unaware of her own existence, right? But she had a bouquet of pill bottles. She made a bed of them. What? Her voice lost in the sorries never spoken? Come on, man. Right? Lasers, Lupe Fiasco, right? Byproducts of a broken system in the second piece. Inflamed brains unwilling to change, right? Wear our trauma like new shoes. Like, come on. If you don't know about people in their new shoes, just don't scuff them. And you might survive. Don't scuff them. Don't scuff them. Man, appreciate you, Sierra. Make sure you find your way back to Monday night as often as possible. Again, you're a member of the greatest community in the world, and you just make it worse, right? Just bringing all that heat. Appreciate you. Make sure you come through. All right, coming up next, an incredible writer, an incredible author of the Chameleon Chronicles. This person you will definitely see will be featuring on the Monday Night Online Open Mic coming soon. The one and only Terry Rose Jertson is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Terry, always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hi, you can find me on Facebook under Terry Rose Jurtson or the Chameleon Chronicles, the Chameleon Poetic on Instagram. I'm going to read, not from my book tonight, though. I'm going to read from Word Tornadoes, A Poet's Journey by Propaganda Poet. Because he's not here, he's missing, and I feel his presence I feel the emptiness, like he needs to be here for this. But so since he's not here, I'm going to be here for him. So first, I'm going to sing a little part of a song called Aiko Aiko, just the verse. My grandma and your grandma were sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, we're going to set this place on fire. Talk about hey now. Hey now, Aiko Aiko one day, Giacomo fina anane, Giacomo finane. Okay, so I'm reading this poem of his called Unmarked No More. Tried to disguise lies, whitewashed history denies, oral traditions. Native children now rise again to remind us past crimes are still here. Remains revealed, built upon these buried truths, don't let them forget. Little ones call out, try to keep our past buried, spirits shall still rise. Little ones call out, try to keep our past buried, our ghost still shall dance. And he did this book where it's a lot of short haiku poems, and it's really good. I highly recommend. I'm just gonna, if I have time, read Ode to America. Crescent moon reminds me of you, a sliver of hope disappearing into darkness. Excellent book, highly recommend.
My goodness, I appreciate that so much, Terry. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson.
Yeah, Terry Rose and Propaganda
Poet. Thank you.
Much made in heaven, right on.
The man not here, now he is.
Thank you. And I know I'm biased. Right? But this is why I love our community, right? Because we show love to each other in so many different ways, right? Shout out Oso Lobo, shout out all the educators in the room, right? Propaganda Poet in his book. Listen, and that's his second book, right? Word Tornadoes. Listen, Terry just brought all of that energy, right? And made sure that we remember how important it is to not only hear freedom's true voice, but hear the true voice of a poet. Right? And it doesn't even have to be necessarily yours, but it becomes a part of who you are. The moment that you read another poet's poem, right? Thank you for that, Terry. Truly, like all of that, right? Whitewash history, denied oral traditions, right? Don't let them forget, right? They try to keep the path buried, right? But our ghosts will still dance. Right? He said, it reminds me of the crescent moon in the second poem in Ode to America. A sliver of hope disappearing into darkness. Damn it, that's point. That's so on point. Thank you, Terry Rose Jurtson. I appreciate you for bringing prop to the party. Make sure you are plugging in with both of those incredible poets. Truly, just amazing. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. All right, we have reached our final four poets for the evening. Shout out a couple of folks before we move on. I see Jamisha in here. I saw Garland in here. Who else did I see? Shout out Generalissimo. I'm not really sure if he's going to make it. If he does, we truly hope he does. Christopher Griffin is here. Jamie is here. We truly appreciate all the energy that y'all are coming through with this evening. Coming up next, this poet continues to come through, usually gets down right about this time of the list too. I'm telling you, I think he's got it figured out, but he continues to come through with all of his new shit. The one and only Prince of Peace in the building. Come on, man, let these folks know where they can find you online. We look forward to all of your incredible creations. Please take it away. Good to see you.
The poem called Lone Soul.
I will remain a lone soul, too quiet to attach to others. Too much of a withdrawn man to Gordon Park's attention to you. Not to mention, my disquieting eyes speak volumes, like my actions. Actions that rather than secure you, make you say, huh. Forever I will go on as an enigma. I'd rather be a single mess than a married in stress. I grew up a screw up with a picture frame that's not properly framed. Like Murder, She Wrote, this same composition got a mother and a grandmother. No father in the home. I was babied as a child. So how can I know what married lovers look like? Yeah, I love the way my life sits in my front view. Sometimes time plus freedom equals peace because I enjoy my own company. I'd rather my body rests in catacombs with my peace attached like Egyptians with gold. I will remain a lone soul. And I'll read another poem. This poem is called Unselfish Act. These canoes to the right of me, laying there silently. As they sit there, I am reminded of the days when the indigenous roamed in total liberation on water. They used canoes to fish, yet they took what was needed. Nothing less, nothing more. No greed in their hearts. All love held for the provider of their nourishment. Poem.
There is something about creating a natural equilibrium with nature, and that's powerful indeed. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Principe.
Woohoo! Yeah, Principe.
Nice work.
Time plus freedom equals peace. I want that on a plaque on my wall.
Okay. Okay. That just came out of nowhere. For real. I caught that too, Jedi Master. Indeed. Right? The line that he mentioned. He said, time plus freedom equals peace. I mean, you may be a lone soul, Principe. The name of his first poem, Lone Soul. You may be that, right? But when you put those things together, right, that time plus freedom equals peace, you have found a peace right here with this community because we love hearing from you, right? You will go on as an enigma, but you are amongst a group of enigmas. It's truly, right? And then the Unselfish Act poem, when at one point, right, when they did live in total liberation on water, right? Up where CC talked about where he lived, right? I stayed up in that area for some time, and there is a tradition in that part of the world where a tribe still goes out on their canoes and they hunt a whale for their tribe, but it happens naturally every year, and that's all. Right? There's no poaching, there's no disrespect involved. It's a natural equilibrium for the land, and it's part of their tradition, right? So when you bring that to what we're talking about, to you being a lone soul, it may seem like that, man, but you're still a part of an equilibrium that is poetry now and this community. Appreciate you, Principe. Continue to come through, continue to write. We are listening. We'll be here for it. Appreciate you. All right. Final three. Coming up next, this poet. Oh, again, shout out to educators in the building. Love when this poet comes through. She continues to share her incredible work with us. The one and only Marianne Teft is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you, Marianne. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. Thank you so much, poet friends. The pleasure is really mine. It's a wonderful night to be here. I'm very grateful for it. I live in the Dutch Caribbean, as you know, where I am a teacher. However, I'm a proud Canadian. And with the rest of my country today, we are obliged to face an extremely dark chapter of our history, and that is the 100 years during which we sent some 150,000 Aboriginal children to residential schools. During the 100 years of this period, about 30,000 children died in Canada of starvation and disease. In 2022, the government of Canada declared that period cultural genocide. In 1997, the last of those residential schools was closed in a small hamlet in the lower Arctic called Rankin Inlet, an Inuit community which today is world-renowned for the quality of the artwork produced there. My poem for Indigenous Peoples Day. If you had asked me, I shared with you my land, my ways, even my heart, but you wanted it all. You took my home from me, carrying me far from the hills where I gathered summer berries with my mother and sisters. You took my tongue from me, that I could not speak with my schoolmates beside me on your hard benches. In the words we learned from our fathers, you took my soul from me, that I would look at your sorrow-faced man suspended from 2 crossed sticks and imagine he could save me from this life every Sunday. You wanted it all, and we were small. We could not fight, we could only wait, and we watched you make mistakes. You should have carpet burned our land when we could not hold up our arms to stop you. You should have starved every one of us when life was even cheaper than it is today. You should have gouged my eyes from my face when even my body was barely my own. Instead, I saw the warm sun turn the snowy hair brown, the trees squat silent through the winter and stand to sing out green songs again each spring. You should have stripped the memories from my mind that I would forget the voices of my mother and father as they rang out across the frozen bay in the days before you came to empty the gold from our valleys. I will be ever grateful to the great spirits who have guided me and my people to this place from the edge of time. You did not plunge your hands so deeply into my heart that I cannot use mine to carve wood and stones in the shape of all the ancient stories that tell the world who we are and ever shall be. Thank you.
And it's powerful, believe it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Marianne.
Thank you.
Man, that was fantastic work.
Wonderful. Some good information and some beautiful writing.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
What I love about poets is everything we tell you is based on information. We're not just going to give you some randomness that you can't go behind our words and find the truth for yourself. As a matter of fact, poets will give you the, the disclaimer that says, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Do your own damn research. However, in the event that you haven't, let me just drop this on you. There was 100 years that they sent 150,000 Aboriginal children to public school. They called it cultural genocide. You thought you were coming to a poetry open mic, huh? I bet you did. You just stumbled upon a life lesson, right? She said, if you had asked, we might have had a conversation, but you wanted my land, my ways, even my heart. And then you took my tongue from me, right? You should have starved us all to death. You should have starved us all. I know that might seem dark to some people, but that is such a, it's such a from the grave kind of, you should have just, had you taken us all out, you wouldn't be dealing with this. right? You wouldn't have to deal with this aftermath, this backlash of all this. But since you didn't, we're going to remind you how horrible that you are from every angle. Thank you, Marianne. And I'm thankful that your students have an educator like you, a poet who's fearless enough to do and say the things that you do and say. Thank you, truly. All right, so 2 more, but we're gonna squeeze Ngoma in there, all right? I'm gonna go to Zonkonto, I'm gonna get Ngoma back in here to do that piece, all right? And then we're gonna close with CP Mays. All right, coming up next, this cat hit me up and was like, listen, man, I got this, I gotta get it out. I said, listen, Zonkonto, we're gonna make sure that you get down. Because, you know, atmosphere rearrangers, they come through and they bless the mic in different ways. So coming up next, another storm god in the building. Listen, if you don't know who this gentleman is, prepare yourself. The one and only Zonkonto is here. Come on, man. Let these folks know where they can find you online and how they can connect with all the incredible things that you do. Come on, man. I know. It's like it's rumbling, right? It's like the thunder. You kind of feel it rumbling in, right? But you know what? Maybe not. So you know what? We'll go to Ngoma. So Baba, check it out. I hope you got your piece ready, and I know you do. Listen, and this is a rare occasion, right? Because usually, you know, let people just rock. But listen, this is important, right? And listen, we'll just call this a pleasant gesture, right, from one of the other poets who couldn't come through, because I did hear Oshun Oyen in the back saying, hey, make sure you get this poem in. So let's get it in. Welcome back, Baba Ngoma.
Yeah, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Week, and I thought that this poem was apropos. It's called She Never Learned That Love Don't Come With Ass Whippings. The more I observed the situation, the more I wondered what was missing from her life, a mirror or a mama, or if her life mirrored her mama. Perhaps she suffered a poor self-concept or a man that didn't love her. It seems his standard of beauty was suspect. After knocking boots, there was nothing left. No post-coital cuddles, just a you can go home now, see? But home was the last place you wanted to be. It seems that's where her trouble started, in a house of mirrors that wasn't home. Reflections of dysfunction we like to call a family, but roots be missing from the tree. Smoked or snorted, guzzled or mainline, it all goes to the brain. So Uncle used to sit her on his knee when she was only 3, with his hand up her dress, his fingers rubbing her treasure chest, while Mama didn't say a thing. See, Uncle was slinging, Mama was hitting that rock he was bringing. Besides that, he put food on the table and tapped that ass whenever he was able, so she didn't go shooting off from the hip, because she could end up with a busted lip. And the daughter was a quick learn. Soon she figured flipping burgers wasn't the move. Besides, she gotten pretty smooth at flipping niggas. It made her purse strings bigger. Plus, she could earn more on her back than standing on her corner slinging crack. Besides, it wasn't ladylike. And homegirl was a hottie. She could stop traffic with that body. With her rear end in motion, she could float a ship without an ocean. But I digress. Didn't mean to change the subject from this mess. See, while daughter was stacking paper, things had got a bit dangerous. So she came up with a plan that she needed a man for protection and maybe give her life some direction. Besides, she figured even thugs need love. So she found the jack so she could play Jill. It got so good she forgot her pills. Now there's a bun in the oven. Now thug life wasn't ready to be a dad. A broken home was all he ever had. He didn't even have a clue about what he was supposed to do. Drugging and drinking, fucking and fighting is all he knew. So after the drugging and drinking and fucking and fighting, concussions and abrasions, he still had the audacity to say to you, please forgive me, I won't do it again. I love you, boo. Postscript. In the USA alone, a woman reports domestic violence every 9 seconds. We haven't counted the unreported.
Wow. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ngoma.
Woohoo! poem was
So
meant
worth
to be
waiting
found
for.
and shared and heard and repeated. Bring it back.
Glad you found it.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
And thank you, Elemental, for letting it back in there. That was the right move.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Thank
that.
God.
Look, the number that I had heard that was shocking to me was about the drunk driving deaths, right? The last time I heard about that, it was like every minute or so in America, right? But what number that you just mentioned was totally alarming. You said every 9 seconds. Every 9 seconds, someone reports domestic violence. And we can't count the ones that have not been declared. That's not okay, right? He said her standard of beauty was suspect, right? What was missing in her life, right? She learned that she can make more money on her back than standing on the corner selling crack. I mean, made her purse strings bigger, right? She found a jack so she could play Jill. You know, so many people are stuck in that cycle, you know, drugging and drinking, fucking and fighting, you know what I mean? And they think it's normal. They think it's okay. They think that cycle equals love, but it doesn't, right? And I implore any of you who know situations or places like that, or you have some sort of, you know, expertise in that, go to those places, right? Reach out to those places, to those shelters, and gift them your poetry, right? Help them heal, right? We have a way with words to help people get past their traumas. So let's help them. Let's do all that we can to help them. Thank you, Ngoma. I'm glad that we did get a chance to get back to that. Shout out to Queen Oshun-Oyen for making sure that you got it straight and on point, and for making sure it got shared with us this evening. Thank you. All right. Zomkonto, let me know what's good to go, man. Until then, we will get to the razor blade that razor blade shaved with. Shout out the vets in the building. Let me tell you about this cat. Shout out Keeper of Concrete. This dude, I'm telling you, if you don't know, you're about to know. One of the best in the world to do it is coming at you live. Prepare yourself. The one and only CP Mays is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, folks. It's always great to see you, man. Come on, take it away.
It's good to be here. I think last week I was sick, maybe. Yeah. So it's good to be back. My handles are CP Mays, whether that's IG or Facebook. What I'm gonna do today is a poet that, like, I had a trigger with fireworks one time and my PTSD kicked in. And I mentioned it at another open mic, just mentioning it like, hey, you don't know what people are going through, just support them, right? And she turns around and writes a poem for me, performs it at a slam in California when she was staying in Hawaii. Like, I owe her, like, the poem just touched me in a beautiful way. So I asked her, could I cover one of her poems? This is it. I've never read it before, so I'm gonna set my alarm for 3 minutes so I can stop, just in case it runs over. Oh, sookie now, don't fuck this up, Maze. All right. It's called Desecrate. By Maddie. The coroner will gut all the names from my body before I am clean enough for the earth to take me back. Only am I beautiful in death, or while playing dead, I'm dying, forgive me, I'm sorry. I want to know how come love's always left me wanting. In confession, I would beg two things only, grace or mercy. And God answered, you want more than you deserve. I mean, don't you dare quote the sacred text at my funeral. Don't you dare say, Holy Father, because the same God who raised you up to be this angry is the one that brought you to your knees, asking, begging, just for him to withhold the answers for all of these years. I keep reenacting my crucifixion, digging for the rib that made my women all the wrong man's chest. Zeus can't stop touching his daughters and then condemning them to cursed lives. How is it that all the male gods can't stop fucking their children over? Sometimes my father would just hold me, his hands, the echo chamber. I'm the wet blanket. I need a good man like a hole in my head. Jesus Christ, I let anyone play God for a night, because when they're finished, it's my turn to speak. And when there are no punishing gods, instead the pain will be allowed. The words I said would count towards where I'm going after this. Whether this is a psalm for the children of men who rather nail their own kin to the cross than come downstairs and apologize with the mess themselves. I could call this girl a church. Each stutter of my speech a communion water. Each triggers a commandment. When there is a song for anyone rising from their starvation years out of hunger or out of spite. Where was I desecrated and then made righteous again? You would call this body an altar. Call this form I hold something more than a flinch, an apology. And can these words I write raise the dead in me? I have never gone to church. When the microphone is a rosary bead, a prayer, where my tongue's holy water that I can spit an incantation into thin air. You could cross me and call me Lord. You could call this container of rage where I live a rapture. I come by all this weeping and dread and grief, honesty, and maybe somewhere there's a man who won't meet my confessions with silence, but stifle a laugh, giggle and ask, is that it? Is that it? Why are you always so sorry? Thank y'all. Thank you, Maddie, for letting me cover this.
Yo, man, that's almost a damn cheat code. Unmute yourself, give it up for CP, man.
CP Mays! Yeah. Oh man, giving CP, that was giving voice to Maddie's words like that.
CP is always that dude. CP is always that dude. Man.
That's unbelievable. That's massive honor. Your voice on top of those words, your passion.
Always. One love, my brother. One love.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Yeah, I really
thank you.
needed
Thank you, Maddie.
room to be cleaned
Thank you,
out.
Maddie. She's
You
watching
really
the live
did.
stream, so shout outs to Maddie.
Maddie, you're loved. You're loved. You're loved by this community. You are loved. Oh, if I didn't say so, you're loved. Just somebody add to that.
See what happens. You got the whole hive just buzzing it, man. Listen, Maze. Shout out Maddie. Shout out Maddie. Maddie's a whole beast. Listen, and you can tell, right? Because it's not very much that you have to do when it's just that fire already. All you got to do is just direct it. You know what I mean? However, it does take a certain kind of dragon to breathe that kind of fire. So, you know, it's so much, right? I'll let anyone play God for a night, nail their own kin to the cross instead of come downstairs and apologize. Like, come on, right? Can these words I write raise me from the dead? Like, raise the dead in me, right? Can these words I write raise the dead in me? Like, I can spit an incantation into thin air. Like, Maddie's just a monster. Maddie's a monster. Appreciate you, Maze, for coming and doing what you do, and for bringing Maddie's spirit into the space. Appreciate all the fire this evening. Oh my goodness. And let's get to the closer. Ready with the lion's mane hanging, storm gods in the building, atmosphere rearranger coming at you. One good time to close us out. The one and only Zomkonto is here. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Come on, Zomkonto. You know what it is. Take it away.
Much respect. First of all, Before I begin, I would first love to give homage to this ceded land of where we are Tanong, wrongly named Windsor in Detroit. It belongs to the Three Fires Confederacy, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. And a later entry was the Hudusani. So I praise them and I honor them for being who they are. So I'm gonna perform this history lesson. History lesson. The residential schools in Canada were the inspiration for apartheid in South Africa. And the same way kids who had never done anything wrong, they died in Africa the same way they died in Canada. I hate horror movies. A nun with fangs ate a child in a residential school, so I would be a bitch to not hate horror movies. A child that died because to be an indigenous kid is to be the kid that dies early in a horror movie. A child is the best thing that could ever happen to the world, but you white folk put white chalk around a child knowing you loved your children, but another child did not matter shit to you. So rest in peace to Ojibwe children whose parents knew how to love them without colonizers telling them how to love. When I was homeless, I knew an Ojibwe survivor. He told me his father turned him alcoholic because he hated what they did to him. I watched him try to kill himself. He was pure blood Ojibwe. And someone had hired him to kill me. As he held the knife in his hand, he cried and threw the money on the ground. He said, "I apologize, and you are my brother now. This money wasn't worth it, and I am the same blood as you." I said, "Miigwech, thank you, Nyabonga. Thank you for not killing me." An indigenous child bleeds the same as me. I looked at him bleed with the same knife he wanted to kill me with, and I realized we are the very same indigenous kids too. We were born out of the very same hurt. What had died in my spirit had died in his spirit too. There were kids first that died in a residential school. Someone had the nerve to even call it a school. They should have called that bitch a slaughterhouse, because this man sent to kill me died before he tried it. He had an axe to grind with God, not me. Children that died in the residential schools had a grave in their heart, but like my friend, they turned that grave to love.
I told y'all, unmute yourself, give it up for Sokoto.
Only in the soul of this fucking house can you turn that grave to love. In the soul of this fucking house, I'll tell you, man.
It was great, bro. Great. Fantastic. Blacktastic.
Okay. Look. So when you actually step into your purpose, the ancestors start speaking through you. And that's what we just heard. He said, I'm gonna give you this history lesson real quick. Did you know residential schools in Canada were the precursor to apartheid in Africa. Did you know? I just said that, right? This is what I love about poets, right? Because we're going to give you something to say, guess what? It comes with that little disclaimer, like I just mentioned. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Do your own research, because I'm not going to give you, nor is anyone in this community going to give you something that is not based on facts. This is what poets do, right? And then when you actually love what you do, who as he mentioned, who knew how to love before colonizers told them how to love, then you come across in a way that speaks not just the present language, but the ancient one and the future one, right? They should have called that bitch a slaughterhouse. Come on, man, right? An indigenous child bleeds the same as me. We were born out of the same hurt. Come on, man. To be an indigenous kid is to die every day in a horror movie. Come on, man. Like, this is like every week we're just like writing a score to this world, to this plane of existence. And each one of you poets plays an integral part in this score. You have to know that. Y'all are incredible. The way that you take your poetic license and you transform it into something that is timeless, right? Timeless. Each and every one of you are geniuses. Zomkonto, the passion that you put into your work is felt every time, right? The world becomes your students, right? This is just another classroom through which you deliver your history lessons. Thank you. Thank you for rocking with us and sharing your incredible night. Listen, everything works for the greater purpose of poetry. I continue to say it's the greatest community in the world, and they continue to show you just that. I cannot thank all of you enough for rocking with us this evening, for hanging out with us. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us on this Monday night. It just happens to be the hypest night of the week. Make sure you are plugging in with every single poet. All right, I told you you're rocking with the greatest community in the world. Plug in with the cafe, if at all possible. Get yourself inside the brick and mortar. Put your hands on those bricks, all right? The doors will be closing very soon. Get in there, feel that energy. It is absolutely real, all right? I love all of y'all. Hope to see y'all next week. We're going to end the night like this. Until we meet again, may the energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. From every single poet from the beginning all the way to the end, shout out Ron Mark Thompson. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with y'all. Until we meet again, peace and blessings.